Hello, welcome to Frank's School. I talked a lot about a trip to Europe, Portugal, and the Alps, but they were all prequels. I was talking about trips I had made in the past. Here is a trip I propose for you. Uh, Maybe with me, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But it's going to be in brief. And if it gets real clear that I'm going, and I think I am, and even if no one else is going with me, I'll probably describe it in great detail because it's the best that I think you can come up with, and cheap. This is not very expensive, and you see Europe from the Mediterranean cultures all the way to the Germanic cultures. What you don't see is the real big cities: London, Paris, Vienna, Venice, Rome. You don't see the big cities, but you see a lot of cities. Anyway, here it goes. In brief, later on I'll go back. Uh, you fly on, you'd leave on a Tuesday night, you'd arrive in Lisbon on Wednesday. That's one. I suggest September 5th, and it's 2 weeks. I'll show you though how it could be shorter. Uh, I'll show you that if you just don't have 2 weeks. That day you'll arrive at like 6 in the morning and you'll feel terrible because of the overnight flight. But that you should take your stuff to the hostel and Alfama Patio. I'm not going to do this every single time, but I will later. But this is my recommendation to you: that, or else the Pension Sevilla, especially this one. Many years ago, I stayed in the Pension Sevilla. They were fine. They're humble. This is not a trip to make if you're going with suitcases. You've got to carry everything on your back for this trip, and you've got to be willing to do a lot of walking. All right, that day, take your stuff to the hostel, and you can't check in until 2 o'clock or 1 or 2, so they'll put stuff under stairs. Keep it, and then go see the center of Lisbon. Walk around. If you have time and want to, I would recommend the Tile Museum. Now you should take a taxi to the Alfama Patio hostel, to that hostel. It's a little hard. You can get there by public transportation, and I don't know, even if you're by yourself, it'd probably be worth a taxi. It's not that far. Uh, the Tile Museum is most easily reached also by a taxi, and then you stay the night. Second day, Thursday, go to Belém. That's a part of Lisbon in the morning, and then go to Sintra, which is a town outside, a very famous, beautiful town outside of Lisbon. You can get there by train, and if you buy a Lisboa card, that might be wise. I'm not certain in your case. If I would say maybe a 1 day or at most 2 day card. Go see that, and then the third day will be Friday. There, start your rail pass, and the rail pass is good for 7 days of travel. The one I recommend, a global pass, 7 days of travel within a month. Use that and take the train from Lisbon all the way up to Porto, which is the second biggest city in Lisbon. Get off out of the train, walk around Porto a little bit, and then head back toward Lisbon. But stop at Coimbra, especially if I'm with you. And I know Coimbra well. I don't know Porto, but I sort of know it from seeing it. And there'd be time to walk around there and cafe. Well, I'll give you details. There's a cafe that later on I'm going to tell in detail what I think you should do. All right, then you get back. Now, Saturday, there's a Feira da Ladra. That's a flea market. It's a very famous flea market, maybe 800-year-old flea market. It's on a Saturday and Tuesday, I think, and it's within walking distance of the of this hostel, easy walking distance. And then come back to the hostel for their barbecue, which I think they'll probably have. They usually Saturday night they have a special party barbecue, and it's fun and worth the money and good eating. All right, the fifth day, Sunday, go to the airport as early as you can do this and fly to Geneva. Now you'll have to buy that flight. It's not very much. And then see Geneva, walk around Geneva some, and then but then get on the lake ferry and your rail pass is good for that. And take the lake ferry a whole way up Lake Geneva to the upper end, near the upper end, Lausanne. That would probably take 3 hours, maybe 4, I don't know. And go to Lausanne. There's a hostel very near the train station that you can get to. All right, 6th day, Monday. Well, at some point in Lausanne, walk up to the cathedral, and by the cathedral, take a look at the view. But then get on the train and take it up the Rhone Valley to Osterberg, or Osterberg. That wouldn't take long to do, except I think you should stop on your way. You'll have to stop at Brieg to switch trains, but you need to get up into the mountains, and there's various opportunities. Diabloret, I've never done that, but I think that might be a possibility. From Aigle, you can take a train up, and the Ural Pass would be good for that. La Forclaz, that's a bus ride. I don't know if I recommend that unless I'm with you. It goes up out of Martigny, but it is spectacular. As a matter of fact, stop in Martigny. No matter what, I mean, unless you really don't have time. Martigny. I'm spelling it wrong. Martigny. I can't think. Anyway, stop there, walk up to the Roman castle, and look up the Rhone Valley. Or another place where you could do that is like the Forclaz. Crans-Montana is a resort, and there's a sort of a inclined plane that gets you up there. So I would stop along the way to get to Osterberg. 7th day, Tuesday, at Osterberg, hike, walk around that town, walk up the mountain behind it. Or, if you want, it's just a short bus ride down to where you get the train to go up to Zermatt, where you sometimes can see the Matterhorn. Zermatt. Now that is not covered by your rail pass. That is not covered by your rail pass. It'll cost you a little bit to get up there, and then more to go up to see that famous view of the Matterhorn. Various possibilities, but not training. 8th day, Wednesday, take the train to Brunig. Brunig is right at the top of a pass. It's past Interlaken, but on the way to Brunig, stop at Interlaken and go up to see the Lauterbrunnen. That's the highest falls in Europe, and also the Eiger, the north face of the Eiger. That's doable, and then you can still quite easily get to Brunig. By now you've gone out of French Switzerland and you're in German, sort of Germanic Switzerland. All right, next day, 9th day, Thursday, stay at Brunig. I've never stayed in that little hotel, but I've seen it. It's humble, but it's right at the train station. Oh, and here, stay at the Hotel Bahnhof, right at the train station. Really nice people. Take the bus down to the Ballenberg Museum and plan to spend the day at the Ballenberg Museum, and then go back up to Brunig. Day 10, take the train all the way to Innsbruck, Austria, and it's doable. On the way, stop briefly, if you can, in Lucerne. Yeah, make it a point to stop in Lucerne, because Lucerne, a city on a lake, is real famous. Wagner lived there a while. And Zurich, probably just change trains. I don't know if I'd walk around Zurich. You'll go via the Alberg Pass, and you'll finally come to Innsbruck. I'm not ready to tell you where to stay in Innsbruck. Maybe somewhere up on the Hungerberg. All right, the next day, spend it at Innsbruck. Do the Hungerberg. By that, I can remember that, but I can't remember the name of the mountain right up above it, that there's this Luftbahn, aerial tram, that takes you up there. I mean, unless the weather is just impossible. Try to do that, because the view is unbelievable. Go to the Tyrolean Folk Museum. And then the 12th day, Sunday, take the train to Munich. You can stop at Salzburg. There'd be plenty of time to do that. This is sort of the home of Mozart. I've never actually been in Salzburg, but it would be easy to do. And then go to Munich. At that point, if I'm with you, I will desert you for 2 nights, because I will be going to Triftern to visit a couple of Facebook friends of mine. So what do? Well, in Munich, go to the English Garden, Marienplatz, everyone goes there. Maybe the Hofbrauhaus. There's lots to do in Munich. And the fact that I've deserted you in a German-speaking city should not matter. It really shouldn't by then. And then on the 14th day, this is Tuesday, couple options. You could take a flight back to Lisbon, stay the night in Lisbon, see Lisbon one more time, and then fly on home. Or it's possible to make that connection. Fly to Lisbon, catch the plane, then home. You ought to be able to do that. Now, how much does this all cost? If you go in September, I just looked, plane fare $674 transatlantic. Add to that another $95 to Geneva from Lisbon, another $122 from Munich back to Lisbon. $525 is your pass, is your rail pass. That adds up to $1,416. That's all your transportation. $50 a day, say $30 for your hostel stay, $20 for your meals. That's traveling cheap. But for 14 days, that would be $700 more. So I'm talking a trip. Look at that, $2,116. Figure 3,000. That's my recommendation. This has been fast. I'll go through it in detail later. Bye for now.